Coming up this week on Kiss My Collectibles, we answer your questions. Stay up to date with the show and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Become a member of our brand new Patreon and receive exclusive updates and benefits.
This is Kiss My Collectibles podcast, but you knew that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Kiss My Collectibles. I am one of your co-hosts, Jason Herndon, and with me, as always, is...
Andrew Gambatti.
Joe Lalich.
Nicholas Buckland.
I like how you think that you have to get close to the microphone like that. You have to... This is AM Talk Radio. Nicholas Buckland. Here I am.
Yes.
That's not... Jazz radio. This is not a microphone either.
I don't like this. I don't like the start of this podcast.
All right, on this episode, we put out the call on in our Facebook groups and a little YouTube video that I put up a couple days ago asking for viewers' questions. So we have a ton of submissions that I'm going to self-edit on the air and ask all of these guys. So we'll get into that in just a moment. But before we get there, Andrew, you've got a whole bunch of stuff you've got to hawk for us.
Oh, yes. I totally...
Oh, it's time for my job.
Shit.
I don't like the way.
I'm just gonna edit in the one from the last episode and be like, okay, because
No.
close.
All right, hawk our stuff. You're not editing that in. Come on.
No.
You can do it. Take a breath.
Together.
Patreon. KissMyCollectibles.com.
T-shirts.
Click
Books.
T-shirt.
Whatnot.
It's so funny. Okay, so
He's never gonna get.
We've lost Andrew. We're never going to be able to get him back.
It's all staying in.
It should stay in. It's funny.
Skip or play.
It can't be delirious. I mean, you know.
okay.
What day is it?
Okay, so it really helps out the page. Make sure you throw this a thumbs up and a like on YouTube. It does help us get seen by more viewers. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. Join our Facebook groups, Kiss My Collectibles. If you want to look cool, because none of us look cool today again, make sure you head on over to clicktshop.com, click with a K, to buy your Kiss My Wax, the Kiss My Collectibles t-shirts. And if you want to help the channel grow, we do have a Patreon. All the links are below. We really do appreciate it. Thank you.
And if you want to help Nicholas's ego grow, hottest brand in the land, still out there. Go grab it.
Hottestbrandbook.com.
Hottestbrandbook.com.
Yeah.
At all good bookshops and a lot of shit ones. Well, not yet, but
not yet. Yeah, at bookstores.
Wait, I didn't ask this question when we had you on for that. Are these going to be in brick and mortar stores at some point?
Look, we've definitely got plans for that. It's one of those things that the launch is just so busy that we kind of almost go, let's release, then we'll work all that kind of stuff out. Yeah. But I definitely love it to be. I mean, I know how to do it. It's just going through the effort of actually doing it. It could be one day.
Here's why you should do it, because I would actually buy it again if I saw it in a store.
Oh, I guarantee you, if I saw it in the store, I'd buy it again.
Yeah,
guarantee it.
I would buy it.
Just because.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You hear that, Nicholas? We have 2 sales.
2 additional sales of people that already bought the book.
Yeah. Let's do it, everybody.
I've shipped them 1,000. We sold 2.
Yeah. All right.
Then every time we put it in the bookshop, these 2 guys will buy it, so we just keep...
There it is again!
One to Nashville, one to Ohio, another one to
Right. We'll just triangulate the closest bookstore.
There's a Kiss Expo that Jason and Andrew are going to. Put it in there. Oh, there it is.
Put it in there. Hey, I'm gonna buy it. Yeah. So,
Andrew, why are you in debt? I bought 120 copies of this book.
All you see are the books stacked up behind Andrew and Jason. Like that's their new backdrop.
Is somebody mowing somewhere?
Yeah, not here.
I think it's outside my window.
That's what I hear it very good.
Can't do anything about it.
No, okay.
He's flying his drone.
Dude, I really want a drone, like, so bad. So I really want one so bad.
Yeah.
Oh man. Wow, that's funny. New stuff. I think Joe.
What's worse, hearing a drone or hearing this?
Yeah, hearing that. Stop doing it.
I have some new stuff. So I went to a flea market close to me the other day, an antique sort of market, and just laying on one of the glass counters were songbooks.
Nice.
This one's not in the greatest condition, obviously. It's got a cut there. And there was also Paul Stanley.
Peter's is cut for cocaine. That's why they cut.
Is that why they did that?
Peter's is
Cut right through. Now, those were a little more common. Still cool. These I thought were really interesting. Reason to Live sheet music.
Very cool.
So there you go. Nothing really it's just
sheet music.
Look at buddy notes. So yeah, that's what that is. No pictures or anything. And then here's I Was Made for Loving You, which Nicholas is poised to pay me $1,000 for.
Woo! Nice.
He's actually going to pay you in books. He's going to pay you in books.
This is the last Kiss collectible that Nicholas needs.
Other than those posters from his poster pack.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's right. What would have been great
if we spoke about last week.
That's right. Last week.
Yes. Yeah.
It would have been great if I'd have been able to go like this, and then Nicholas picks it up from me.
That would have been cool as hell.
I wouldn't have been able to stop laughing if you did that.
It's a monster tour book.
So I Was Made for Loving You sheet music. That's what it looks like. There you go. So the $20 for all of them. It was pretty great. It's a great find, odd find in the middle of nowhere.
I love those. I love those.
That's the best. I love finding stuff like that, man. Just going into a thrift shop and there's some cool Kiss 70s item or whatever.
Oddball item like that, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Nicholas, what do you got?
Yeah, a couple of things from Andrew came in. We did a little trade on tour books. I'm not sure if he's got his ones here, but this is just two more of my variants, which is this one, which is the Monster tour book, but this is actually the Japanese version. It's funnily enough, I actually expected the whole thing to be in Japanese, and when Andrew sent it to me, I thought, oh, bastards just sent me the American one again. It's like, but it's actually it was really only. That scumbag. No, but if you actually have a look, the main difference is, scumbaggy. It's the little it's little Japanese names up in the corner. That's
well, the back cover is different,
and the back's got the little Japanese. Yeah. But it's not heaps. Like if you go through it, it's all in English. Whereas the other Japanese. A lot of the other Japanese ones, including the 94, 95 one, are all in Japanese text.
Right.
So this one's really just a few little licks, so to speak, that are Japanese.
What a lot of people don't know is Japan is really a bilingual society. I mean, you think that it's all Japanese, but there's so much stuff that is in Japanese and in English when you go there.
Yeah, I've been watching like crate digging videos, like people in record stores looking through stuff, and I've watched a lot in Japan because my company sells to a lot of stores in Japan, Jet Set and Disc Union and all that stuff, and all their signs are always dual language. It always says Jet Set and then has the jet in English, and then so yeah, Andrew's right.
Yeah. And then the other one I got finally is the second edition. I'm not going to show it because there's nothing special about it, but the second edition of End of the Road World Tour. Yeah, so now I've got both versions. So
awesome.
Yeah, just minor, like nothing exciting, but little minor as I edge closer to
completing your
the tour book.
Yeah, I still have. I got
the tour book collection. Yeah,
I got about 10 or 12 left that I still need.
I got about 4 or 5, but I always leave the original Return of Kiss out because I know I'm never ever going to see that.
Same.
Yeah,
well, if I want to be single and have my wife divorce me for spending $12,000 on a book, yeah, but that's not going to happen.
All right, so let's roll into these viewers' questions. There's, when I put out that call, we not only got questions, but we also got like show suggestions and stuff like that. Obviously I can skip that stuff, but there's some pretty good show suggestions in there too.
And if we do those, we'll give credit where credit is due. Right?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. So let's see. I have not, obviously I read through these a little bit as they were being posted and stuff, but the rest of the guys, unless they saw them where they were posted, they haven't seen these questions, and I haven't reread back through these, so I'm going to try to self-edit.
I don't read anything I haven't written myself. So.
That's right. So I'm going to try to self-edit this. Yeah, one book.
One book.
And trust me, he's still reading it because I'm getting texts about it.
This thing's great. No.
So I have a proposal. Why don't we go for maybe an hour-ish and see how many questions we get through?
Sure.
And if we have more questions, maybe there's a second episode here.
Absolutely.
Let's just kind of see what we've got. Let's try and not leave anybody out.
Absolutely. Sounds good to me. Okay, so the first question comes from YouTube. The username is Rob for Vinyl. He says, I have many posters that need framing, and I would like to know more about the cheapest way to get these posters up on my wall and not rolled up in the corner serving no purpose. He basically goes on to say posters were meant to be viewed and enjoyed, not just out of sight, out of mind. So for the poster framers...
Skip. Sorry, wrong shit.
Wrong
That question's a hard skip.
I know we talked about it a little bit. When
the cheapest way to do it is a lot of these bigger posters. Their sizes are 22 by 34, which now poster frames are 24 by 36. So the best way you can do that is you can get a bigger poster, and you could just put it in there, and you could just try to center it as best as you can. You could do that, or it's going to cost a little more. You can go to any art supply store. Or any, some of the Walmarts might have a little framing section in there for you. You can go there and you can measure out and buy just the mat board that you want. So basically you have your poster there, and then your mat board would be all the dead space in between the frame and the actual poster. So obviously if the poster is 22 by 34, you'd want to get the mat board to have, the mat board would be 24 by 36, and the opening would be 22 by 34. Or it could be 21, or it could be 20, and you could mat it any way you want it. So that's the absolute cheapest way to do it. You can go
carry the two.
Yeah, you can go into any
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, you can go into.
It's a beautiful mind. The Betty framing edition.
You can go into any store, any Walmart, Target, even if you have Kmart left there. I know Nicholas has Big W down there. So you can go to any of those stores and
IKEA. I've got a lot of mine from IKEA. Do you guys have IKEA?
We have IKEA.
Yeah, for common sizes, right, or even close to common sizes,
yes.
you can find an easy, cheap way at IKEA or Walmart or any of these kind of discount stores.
Yeah, and Amazon actually has a great selection too of frames, and they're pretty well priced as well too. So
yeah, see, when we talked about that was always my thing about framing these posters. Is the expense of it. If you're getting this done professionally, it's a ridiculous price.
Yeah, and if you're going to the frame store, man, you're going to get killed on pricing on that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so if I was to be hit by a bus tomorrow and my wife sold off some of my framed Kiss posters and you took them out of the frames, there may be some debate about the rare. Mine's 24 inches, but the one Nicholas had is 23.5 inches, and the reason is to fit them into the frames. I've taken a razor and actually cut the poster smaller to fit into the frames. I know I'm going to be crucified by collectors for that, but I kind of thought I'm never going to sell them, or maybe after I'm dead. But
Nicholas, are you serious or are you joking?
Yeah, no, I'm being serious. I've trimmed the posters by. Some of the ones almost didn't fit in the frame, so I had to trim them by, like 5 millimeters. Now,
holy cow!
Somewhere out there, somewhere out there, Shane McManus is now on the floor, and someone's
Jason Herndon needs the paddles, man. I can't believe what I'm hearing either.
I did.
Yeah,
this a
but
long
if we
time
do the you know the defibrillator things on Jason, it's gonna be like the thing. We're gonna do that, and his chest is gonna collapse, and then his chest will bite our hands off.
the thing.
You've got to remember, I did this a long time ago. So these are the rest of mine, which are untrimmed, obviously. But the ones that I trimmed was it earlier in the Kiss collecting days, and the Elder promo poster.
You trimmed that?
No, wait, even worse. I did trim it, but not even worse than that is Elder and the fantasy poster and the Return of Kiss Dynasty one are all spray mounted to a board. And then I thought I had them really flat, and I woke up in the morning and they're all bubbled. So if you insert in light, I basically ruined through them. But this was in the very early days because I got them for about $40 each.
So let me ask you a question. So today, if you got those posters, would you trim them and dry mount them?
I would never dry mount them. Might dry hump them. But I would. I don't know. Would I trim them to fit a? Because what am I going to do? Am I going to pay $200 for a frame?
You buy a bigger frame.
Oh, we're talking.
Jason's getting on a plane right now to come down there and punch you right in the mouth.
No, but seriously, but how do you know when you see it in the frame? You don't notice 5mm, and then if I'm talking 5mm, maybe it's like it's barely anything. I'm not going to sell them, so it doesn't matter. Is that weird? Should I leave now?
I can quit.
Holy cow. That's like saying, I have a Mickey Mantle rookie card. I know you know nothing about baseball, but you know what? It just wouldn't quite fit in the holder that I had, so I just trimmed it right off. I mean, I'm not going to ever sell it. Holy cow. I'm not
saying I would do it now. I'm saying this was like 10 years ago.
Well, no, that's what Joe asked.
That's what I just asked, and you still hedged. You still said, maybe. I would never dry mount them, but I've got the but he's out there.
Right here.
Yeah, right here.
Oh.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I'm yet speechless. Your kids aren't allowed in the room, but here you are with a razor blade just wailing away on priceless Kiss merchandise. I cannot believe we're now 30 minutes into the first question, and Nicholas.
Okay, okay, maybe I probably wouldn't cut them these days.
Just because.
Yeah, Nicholas has that whole thing going on like that Alfred Hitchcock camera move, Andrew, where the background just goes like he just realizes what he right? He just realizes what he's done.
No, I can't believe he takes his.
I can't do it with the table.
So, Rob, for vinyl, do not trim your posters to put them in a frame.
Here's what's the best thing ever. Nicholas Buckland now, every time he walks into his room, he's going to look at these posters and think twice about himself. I love it. I love this podcast.
He's gonna go and rebuy them, and his wife's gonna be like, "You bloody have this."
Yeah. But baby, I cut the first one down. I cut $200 off of this one, so I had to get the.
We love you, man.
So basically, don't buy posters off me or my widow after I'm gone.
Or his vinyl that he may have. Yeah.
I can't believe that's Sonic Boom vinyl.
Well, I will tell you because it's freezing in here, and I was wondering why it was so cold in this room. Because we got underfloor heatings, and you know what was sitting on top of the heating vent was all my Kiss vinyl. So it was like slowly cooking. But it's flat, and they're all sitting on top of each other, and they're all.
Hey Andrew, just go to a test pattern when you edit this. Just go to a test pattern over Nicholas's box. Holy crap.
I only found that out. That's what I was going to say, because I only found that about 5 minutes before we started the show, that I'd pushed something under the bed and had moved all the vinyl on top of the heating grill. So it's probably been sitting there for about about a month maybe. Would that wreck the value of my rare vinyl?
This viewer questions episode has just become Nicholas's Kiss collecting regrets.
And you guys thought I was bad.
Yeah. Nicholas Buckland's top 5 essential Kiss collecting regrets. Number 5, putting my vinyl on a heating grate.
Number 4, cutting posters.
And number 1, trimming all of my priceless Kiss posters.
3 of them. Anyway.
All right. Shall we move on?
Yes,
Please.
please.
Yeah.
All right. Also from YouTube, StarChild77 asks, when was the first time you discovered the hottest band in the world? Not hottest brand, not Nicholas's book, the band Kiss.
I mean, we kind of already all covered this, especially when, you can go all the way back to the very first episode of Kiss My Collectibles, Kiss My Boots, or even Kiss My Wax. You can go all the way back to those. So I'm going to respectfully skip this one just because we've done it in so many different shows in so many different ways. So go back to Kiss My Wax episode 1, go back to Kiss My Boots episode 1, go back to the time we had Joe as an unofficial guest. He talked about his, and the very first Kiss My Collectibles episode with the tour books, Nicholas talked about his as well. So go back to those episodes and check them out.
All right, Andrew took care of that one real quick. So just yeah,
Hard skip.
Yeah, hard skip. No, nothing against that question.
It's
those answers
really long and involved.
Those answers are pretty long, and
Suffice to say, we've all been Kiss fans for a super long time. And we all have different origins of how we came to the band, but we're all pretty young when it happened. So
yeah, absolutely.
Except for Nicholas, you were a little bit older, right?
Yeah, I was. I think we've talked about this already. I was in the Metallica, AC/DC, and all those kind of bands, and kind of got into them round about the Revenge era. So it was like really got into them. Not. I liked a couple of songs. So yeah, I was really late, 18 years old, before I even liked Kiss. Yeah.
Right.
Next question.
Next.
Here's one I don't think any of us can really answer, but I'm going to ask it because it's an interesting question. I would like to know the answer to. I know I don't know the answer to it, so maybe someone watching knows. Maybe one of you guys knows. I have no idea. So also from YouTube, Paul Stonick asks, who has the 4 handwritten letters in the gatefold of Alive? Did they survive or still exist? Have y'all ever heard any stories about that?
I heard they were thrown out right after the picture was taken, and it's not even the guy's handwriting. I know Lydia wrote a couple of them. Lydia definitely wrote Peter's, but they were just literally scraps.
Because I was spelt correctly.
Yeah, there was no spelling errors, so it wasn't Peter.
Yeah. So I've never heard anything about that. So you heard they were thrown out?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine it was just a mock-up and then thrown.
Like right after that, they snapped all those pictures, and then it was directly into the garbage.
Okay.
Actually, a good person to ask would be Dennis Wallach. He would know. He would know.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have Dennis on one day to talk about a lot of that stuff. So he also goes on to ask what the value of a Mint 77 lunchbox with thermos would be, with autographed by all 4 original members. Got an idea?
No, stop trying to sell us your stuff.
Yeah, we're not really. Yeah, he's fishing. We're not really value. We don't do a lot of that stuff. And
Clearly, we don't do anything with value because Nicholas is over there cutting the posters and putting the vinyl on heating grates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this an unheated or heated lunchbox?
1977 ham sandwich still intact in there.
It's like green and black. It's awesome.
All right.
Yeah, no, I don't know about prices, but I suppose that begs the question: do autographs increase or decrease the value of the
It's funny. I was going to say the same thing.
That's an
Yeah,
excellent
because there's a question I think that was in the mix about would you have everything autographed? I would not. I mean, mostly I would not. The higher end, like that first promo poster. I'm of two minds, right? I think we've all kind of talked about if we're going to keep these things forever, and we know that this is something that we're going to hold on to, then I think it's cool to get stuff signed. Obviously, it's cool to get whatever you want signed. But for me, super hard to find vinyl like the white double platinum from Australia or Low Mayor to Kiss or some of that stuff. I would never get any of that autographed because I think it actually devalues the item because there's so few of them out there. Right. I'm on the fence about the lunchbox. To me, if it's a Mint lunchbox, I wouldn't get it signed.
Correct.
Because I feel like there's
someone on the page that got Greatest Kiss signed, and they're just missing. I think Peter's the only one they're missing.
Saw that.
Yeah.
I mean,
for me, the division is the music. So if it was an album, then yes, a tour book because they played live, I'd get that signed. But once it gets into the merchandise, I almost feel like it's a separate. In my mind, I kind of separate them a bit from the band, almost like the band didn't have much to do with, the makeup kit. So why would I get it signed by them? It might be a strange way of looking at it, but I kind of go, well, an album makes sense to me, or a tour book makes sense because the band were actually present and involved in it. So yeah, like I bought I didn't even need it signed, but I needed the second the 1976 tour book, and the Destroyer version, not the Rock and Roll Over one. It's got Peter and Ace's autograph on it, and I didn't want it, but now that I see it, I go, yeah, it looks quite nice, and obviously they're on the tour, so it makes sense that their autographs are on there. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if anyone else feels the same way, but
I've gotten several things signed, and I have the first album, White Label Promo, which is a very valuable record, also signed by the entire band, and that was something that I wanted for myself. I think it probably comes down to, if I were to put that up for sale, who is looking at that at the time? Because there will be a group of people who think that is the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life, and I want the first album, White Label Promo, with all 4 signatures. That is amazing, and they'll pay top dollar for it. And then you have high-end collectors that are like, I want that thing in pristine mint condition with no writing on it, and wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. So,
Jason, would you do it again?
Yes.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got Paul to sign that in 1998, and it took me all the way up until last year.
Wasn't it 99?
No, it was 98.
You sure about that?
When they opened, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, we'll have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure it was 1998. But you could be right. It could be 99. But anyway, and it took me all the way up until last year to get it completed.
And there's also a question I have on that, because you didn't get your Peter Criss autograph. You sent it out to a friend, and a friend of yours got it. And I think that ruins it. I think if you're going to get something signed, I think it's something that you get signed yourself, and it's special that way. I mean, there are autograph dealers that make their living selling autographs, which I take nothing away from that. But for me personally, if I didn't actually obtain the signature, it cheapens it for me.
I don't disagree with you at all, Andrew. I actually do agree with that. I don't purchase autographs on purpose. Mm-hmm. Like Nicholas, I've bought a couple of things that had autographs on them because I wanted the item, but I don't go out and purchase things that are autographed. The situation with Peter was, I had not had an opportunity to meet Peter, and Peter is now up into getting to his mid-70s, and I don't know how many more appearances he's going to do. And I was afraid that I've never met Peter. I was afraid that I was never going to get to meet Peter, and that I was sending it to someone that I trusted, Joe Odell, who is a good friend of mine.
That's where I was going to go with it. If you have a trusted source, for sure. Like if I sent anything to any of you guys to get it signed, at least then I know for sure that it's legit, was signed, and that to me is the difference.
Right. So, I mean, you had the same thing done, Andrew. You
had some J.H. Palace or John Hadges that you.
John Hadges. Yep.
Yeah, he got that one for me. So
right.
I like the fact it has to have the name on there, which is really cool. So then even though I wasn't in Canada for it, he got him to sign it to me. So I thought it was really cool.
Right. So so generally, I agree with you, Andrew. If it's just some random signature from someone off of eBay or something like that, I don't care. I would never buy it.
You've never met Peter. I mean, my opinion with this is this: I met Paul so many times. It was always the one thing that evaded me. But man, you gotta just sell some of those Wallace pens and go meet Peter Criss, because that'll
selling my Wallace pens.
That'll be worth because Peter, say what you want about the guy. When you meet him, he really takes the time, and he really,
I know that. I absolutely know that.
He's really cool.
Yeah, and I would love to, and I just have not had a personal opportunity to meet Peter, and I was afraid that I was not going to be able to get those items completed as he ages. Mm-hmm. So I sent Joe a few of my items that only needed Peter, and I got them signed.
And a few of your dollars.
And I did send a few of my dollars. So, all right, next question from Andreas Samuelson, also off of YouTube. Destroyer or Destroyer Resurrected?
Skip.
No, that's not
No,
a
no,
skip.
no.
That's a good question.
No. In all seriousness, Destroyer, without a doubt, hands down, without a doubt.
Joe?
John, the opposite.
Joe?
Yeah, Resurrected probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Easy.
Resurrected easily. It
Easy
just sounds
Resurrected.
better.
Yeah.
Way better. Way better. Buries the original Destroyer. I don't even listen to the original Destroyer anymore. Yeah.
The drums are so much crisper.
Oh,
I
the
haven't
drums.
listened to Destroyer Resurrected since it came out. I listened to it
You're
once.
crazy.
Really? All right.
yeah,
You know what? I
it's-
have it on vinyl. I'll go back and listen to it today.
It buries. God of Thunder is a completely different song. It's brilliant. It's brilliantly mixed now. You know, it's not muddy sounding. No, the drums are way out front. I love it. Absolutely love it. So go listen to Destroyer Resurrected, guys.
I will.
Let's see. What else do we have here?
Maybe we can follow on from that. Does everyone have an album that, if you could choose one album that they would remaster, so remix?
Remix
what would you
would be the
choose?
question.
If they, yeah. So remix is what I meant. Yeah. What would you choose?
Alive 2.
Hotter Than Hell.
Hotter Than Hell was my answer. That was what first sprang to my mind as well.
Yeah, I'm the same with Hotter Than Hell. Yeah.
I quite.
That being said, I love how it sounds. I know a lot of people kill it.
I do too.
I love how it sounds now. I think there's a time and place, man. Those first, the beginning with Got to Choose and all that stuff is just so killer.
It's funny. Yeah.
I don't know.
funny.
I take it as it is.
It's funny
I'd love
the sound of
take a shot at it.
It's no different in its mix to, say, Master of Reality by Black Sabbath. It's got almost a very similar sound. It's funny. I've never been on any Sabbath boards, but I wonder if they ever say this needs to be remixed itself. I bet you they wouldn't, because it's a classic Sabbath sound. But it just sounds perhaps it sounds a bit muddy for what we know Kiss to sound like. You know, you listen to Dress to Kill and you go, okay, that's what I understand Kiss sounding like. Whereas Hotter Than Hell, it sounds a bit odd for them to sound that way.
Right. You know, another thing is with Destroyer and Destroyer Resurrected, it was remixed by the guy that actually mixed it originally, produced it, recorded it, mixed it originally. You know, do you have someone like Ezrin come in and put his touches on Hotter Than Hell, or do you try to have? I mean, are Kenny Kerner and Richie Wise still alive?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't have any idea.
This mix sounds a little dead.
Yeah. So, Andrew, why Alive 2? Why Alive 2?
I just think I think the audience overpowers some of the aspects of the album, and I also think I'm much more forgiving of Alive than I am of Alive 2. I think Alive 2 suffered from a lot of studio overdubs, a lot of trickery, and a lot of recorded sound checks. You know, I kind of wanted to hear the band. I want to hear the band more. And I only say Alive 2 because when I was editing The Greatest Show on Earth, I listened to those 10 Alive 2 tracks 100 times. And I'm like, man, I don't even like this now. Just because I just think the audience overpowers the band.
Has there been any other band that's gone the Alive 2 track, or when they release their second live album, they only have songs from a certain period? It's a weird thing to do, because if you think Alive is the perfect capture of Kiss at the time, but Alive 2 doesn't represent their set list from that year. It's almost like we've taken out all our earlier hits, and I wonder if there's any other bands that followed that formula where they went only songs since the last live album was released.
I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not aware of any.
Me neither.
Oh, we're not meant to ask the questions. Your questions. Sorry.
Okay, let's see.
If anyone knows, let us know. Yeah. Are there any other bands that have gone that format and said it's not always the best of? It's now from the last point. It's an interesting way of doing it.
I've got a couple of questions here that are kind of similar, and maybe we can combine them into one. So Josiah O'Keefe says, what was your favorite Kiss tour? And Alex 1 asks, what is the best Kiss show that you've ever seen? So what do you think? Favorite Kiss tour?
We mean one that we've seen, or just in general, or
he doesn't say. He just said, what was your favorite Kiss tour? So I don't know.
Well, I'm just going to say, my favorite Kiss tour is obviously the Love Gun Alive 2 tour. I know those are 2 tours because there was a break in between, but those are my favorite tours, and the favorite one I've seen is End of the Road.
Oh, okay. All right. Joe?
The '96 reunion first show at Tiger Stadium. That's what sort of fits into that category for me from a nostalgia standpoint. I mean, it was just magic. Me seeing them in makeup for the first time.
I didn't know you were there.
I was there.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, he lives in Detroit. Why wouldn't he?
Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. I actually am a Kiss fan. I was there.
Yeah.
So favorite tour, probably with Andrew.
Okay.
77, 78 tours were magic. I think that was the band at the height of its powers, I think.
Right. Nicholas?
I still love that Winterland gig. For me, that's that 1975. Yeah, the one that's filmed in black and white on. Yeah, I think that's them at their ultimate for me anyway. But in terms of what I've seen, 96 in Sydney, that was absolutely amazing. Yeah, the reunion tour was incredible.
Were you there the night that Ace got the Cherry Pickers got stuck and Ace and Paul were stuck up there? Were you there that night?
No, I think they did a couple of nights.
Because I was going to say they did multiple nights in Sydney.
Yeah. My favorite tour is
Creatures of the Night.
Probably the 77, 78 year. But my favorite show that I've ever seen was I'm going to have to say Revenge 92 in Nashville. Yeah.
He's only saying that because he caught like the G string of the stripper. He was like, "Oh my God, yes, I finally
did catch
got
that.
one."
It wasn't a G string, but it was the top that she ripped off. But yeah, I mean, but no, I love that era. I would almost say it's probably my favorite. What, Joe?
In my head, I just saw a G-string come flying in off screen and hit you in the side of the head in your studio down there. Like,
yeah.
Do the washing. It's like, for God's sake. It's like,
I mean,
throwing the
that
laundry
era of the band
in.
was so powerful. I mean, there's a Phoenix bootleg that circulates now of the club tour where they open with Love Gun, and just man, that band sounded so great.
I absolutely.
Yeah, they were very good.
Yeah.
Eric's drumming was a particular standout at that time.
Let's see. Scrolling down, self-editing. See, there's silly questions like this. I'll run it by you from Stephen Powell. My question is for Scambatti. Vinnie Vincent, Mark St. John, or Abner Devereaux? Fuck, marry, kill. Thanks. Well, while I find the next question, you
What
answer
happened
that.
to self-editing? Skipping that. Who cares?
Okay, let's go from the Kiss My Collectibles page, not our group, our page. Let's see. What year did Kiss start selling merchandise at Spencer's? This is from Wendy Shears, I think is how you say her name. She's a Patreon. So does anybody have any clue? Because I know the Spencer's was around in the, it's been around since the 60s. And I know that they did carry stuff in the 70s because we've heard people say they bought stuff. Anybody have any real clue? No.
I mean, they signed a bunch of deals with Spencer's in '96, but I mean, there's been that one-stop poster that Nicholas showed in the last show was probably available at a Spencer's Gifts because that kind of stuff there. So it's difficult to pinpoint that.
It's hard to put your finger on because they don't actually say Spencer's on them. But like we think it's 76, 77, around about that time that things were started popping up in those stores. Yep.
Okay. From the Kiss My Wax group, Stanley Wolf asks, "What's the rarest promo LP and why?" What do you think, Joe?
I don't know. That's interesting. That that Argentinian Hotter Than Hell promo. Some of that stuff, the Peruvian promo stuff that you just never see. There are the promos that went along with the different tours like First Kiss, Last Licks, or different record. The different time periods like that. But I gotta say, probably some of that South American stuff has got to be. Even though maybe not recognized as some of the most rare, if you try and find those, it's needle in a haystack type stuff. What do you think, Jason?
Well,
or anybody else, obviously.
Yeah, there's definitely that stuff, and like promos of the Crazy Collection releases.
That's funny. I was just going to say the
that's
Crazy Collection
a
promos.
good point. I've never seen one even pop up. So that's good. I hadn't thought of it.
To his question of why, I mean, it's just, I mean, the reason why they're rare and the reason why they're valuable is all, it's based on, where it came out, and, they're valuable if because, a record can be rare and not necessarily valuable. You have to have people that want it. So,
And I think over the years, we've definitely added to that. We've definitely brought certain records to light that were still maybe valuable, but because we've put a spotlight on it and now people are hunting for it, they've become more valuable.
Right. It's just like all of those mid-'80s polygram reissues and stuff, which you used to not be able to give away. But now, now they're commanding, $30, $40, $50, some of them $100 or something like that. And those records were dump bin records, and it's because, we've put a spotlight on those records with these groups and podcasts and stuff, and made people aware that, hey, there's not many of these things out there, and you might want to start, snatching them up. But there's a ton of rare promos.
Well, that white label promo too, right? That's something that is super valuable, but you can find them all day long because I think they're just more plentiful, but they're also more people want them.
Right. Right.
But I mean, if you I can go on eBay probably today and buy one of those white label promos, I would assume. Right. But there's no way you're going to see those Peruvian promos or the crazy collection promos. You're just not going to see that stuff.
Right.
So those things, some of those things are off the charts.
Yeah. Also from Kiss My Wax, just want to point out that Renee Mendoza said that we should definitely get into the most sought after non-makeup items on an episode. So
all that's coming.
There's like 4 of them. So,
Right.
The top 5 most essential non-makeup.
Yeah. Okay, Greg. I saw this one and I thought it was a great question that we can get into about collectibles. Greg Poole out of Kiss My Wax asks, "This question might bring out the nasty in the coin-only collectors, but
Nicholas?
why does everyone call Spencer's Collectibles Spencer's crap?"
Well, because there was a point where there was so much of it, and there was really, really little to no quality control. You had like mugs that just looked like, almost Fred Flintstone in Kiss makeup, and you just had like just garbage items. I mean, I think what a lot of the coin items were is the coin items. They were cool items, lunch boxes, trading cards, posters, poster packs. They had cool items. With a lot of the Spencer stuff, you just had like garbage, like, oh, this is a wall fountain, or this is a lighter, you had like more tchotchke items, and the specialness and the coolness of these items were now gone because now you can get the Kiss logo on literally anything. And Spencer's definitely added to that. So that's why I think we call it Spencer's crap, because it's just everything, and there was no quality control.
I don't really see that, even though I collect the coin stuff, I don't really see the 70s as being huge on quality control. I think they slapped their logo on everything, and I think
agree totally.
For the the older teenagers at the time, there was no word for Spencer's crap, but they probably looked at this as just a bunch of crap coming out from a band they hated.
Yeah, but hold on.
I think Spencer's crap came out because everyone was all older and they were kind of this is this new crap coming out. But it's funny how time's gone on. Like, I kind of look at some of those wall busts, or I quite like some of that stuff, or the wall fountain and that. And I'm starting to, obviously not collect it,
really?
but I'm starting to look at it and go, it's actually not that bad compared to 2019 stuff, which seems to be the same logo on everything. You know what I mean? Like, the stuff that's coming out now seems even more mass produced. The stuff I found that the Spencer stuff was at least interesting. Like, you're not getting a wall fountain now. You're not getting the head busts anymore. You're not getting the masks anymore. I don't know. It seems maybe it's just time goes on and something that's now 23 years old becomes more vintage.
Paul Stanley says, just give it time. It'll be a classic, right? So maybe there is a point to some of that. Andrew, what you said, you said something about, there were it was on everything from posters. Those were in the 70s. Lunch boxes. Those were in the 70s.
No, I'm talking about, like, that's the cool stuff. I mean, I view a lunchbox a lot cooler than like
There was
than like a shitty mug from Spencer's.
Plenty of lunchboxes
Yeah.
come out during the Spencer's period.
No,
Plenty of them.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, like for me personally, when I look at the '70s stuff, I look at the rub and plays, the color forms. I go, that's cool stuff of the time. You go into the Spencer scrap, there's like playing cards and there's like lighters. Like it seems like it was cheapened.
Don't forget your point, Joe. But I find that interesting, Andrew, because the Spencer's crap was your time period,
and I hated it then.
It makes no sense to me. But okay, all right. So Joe, what were you saying?
I just think it's time. I think it's time and nostalgia. I think even Nicholas is getting a little soft around the edges when you start talking about.
No, he's cutting the edges. He's not getting soft on it. He's cutting the edges.
Thin razor.
Where you start to look back on some of that stuff a little wistfully, right? You're like, oh, I kind of remember being at a Spencer's, and you forget the socks and the lighters and the mugs and the ties. However, and all that. I can't really.
Yeah, maybe.
I can't really think of many things that are all that attractive to me. And I think Spencer's crap is a little bit of a misnomer too, right? Because I think it even continues into now in a way. You know what I mean? It's become this catch-all phrase for Kiss collectors, a little bit like hair metal was, right?
Right.
Everything's hair metal, yet you have your Cinderellas and you have, these bands that are super proficient players. So I don't know. It becomes a little bit of a misnomer. To each his own. I think also probably the business model switched a bit, right? You went from the record company doing whatever they could to promote the band and put out stuff to now it's switched, right? Licensors come to Kiss and go, hey, we want to put out a Johnny Lightning car or whatever it is, right?
Right.
And Gene and Paul go sign off.
Sure.
And now so it's not even really Kiss.
They'll sign off on anything.
Yeah, it's not Kiss putting it out, So anyway.
I find this an interesting subject because we run a group that has almost 11,000 members in it, and I have a hard time. There's a lot of people that have large collections of that merchandise, and I have a hard time insulting them for their collections and calling their stuff crap, And I know that there's some big collectors, some major collectors in the community that are not a part of our group because they don't like to see that stuff. And I think it's unfair to newer collectors. I think it's unfair to people that love to collect from all eras. I think it's I just think it's unfair and inconsiderate to necessarily call somebody's collection crap. Just because they're not spending, $1,000 on each item, all that beautiful stuff. I'll be the first one to say that I think Nicholas's collection and people that collect like Nicholas, they have the best looking collections out there, and I'm quite envious of them. But I also have a soft spot for anybody who collects anything Kiss, And if I was Andrew's age, that's why I don't understand your disdain for it, Andrew. If I was your age, I would probably have every single Spencer's item, Yeah. But I have a lot of. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just saying. Well, Andrew doesn't go out actively attacking people, but it's funny. I've one of my big contributors to everything, Kiss, George Navarro. He collects sort of everything. He's got this great wall of him, everything that comes in. He just collects. But he's told me that he's got private messages. He's got comments on them telling him how shit his collection is. It's the worst collection. He said people are just constly insulting him.
No, that guy spends more money than anyone I know. Like I saw him at the end of the road show in Florida. Where did I go see them? Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah. The guy literally had bags of merchandise. Literally bags.
But if you love it,
listen, more power to him.
His collection is the best for him,
His collection looks great. His collection looks great.
And that's exactly the point. If it's cool to you, God bless.
Right.
Go do it. We're not here to judge anybody about how they collect. I collect mostly vinyl. Nicholas collects almost all collectibles. The rest of us are kind of somewhere in the middle. Right. God bless everybody however you collect. As long as you're a Kiss fan, you're welcome in our number. That's
precisely why I started these groups, was because I did not. appreciate the insulting nature of how a lot of them were ran, and I wanted everyone to be included and everyone to be appreciated. And not everyone collects the same. Not everyone is at the same income level and can collect the one-of-a-kind items, and I think it does a disservice to the collecting community to turn your nose to how someone collects. So
it's okay to say it's not for you, but if you dig it, go do what you love, for sure.
There's tons of stuff that's not for me that I would never spend my money on. Joe and I have talked about it. I think these gold album awards are amazing, and he would never spend his money on that, and that's perfectly fine.
Yep.
But I don't think he would ever insult me for it.
No, I hate you for it.
Yeah, that's okay. Yes.
No, we insult you for other reasons. We don't insult you for
That's right.
That's right.
So we insult you for being a slob, not for what you collect.
Great question. That was
a
great question. So go collect how you want to collect.
Yeah, and Greg Poole also said, he asked that question. He also said, keep doing the Skipper Play episodes. They're hilarious. So, well, Greg, wait till you see Psycho Circus. You might not agree anymore.
He's probably already seen Psycho Circus.
Yeah. Oh, it's right. So
last week.
That was last week.
Last week.
Let's see.
Hours like days, don't they?
Yeah. From the Kiss My Wax group, Mark Morris asks, have any of you gentlemen lost the passion for collecting at any time, and what did it take to get that passion and excitement back?
I would say for me, it ebbs and flows for sure. I've never lost the passion. It's not like a lost passion. It just sort of recedes maybe a little bit and then comes forward a little bit. But I'm always on eBay looking for stuff all the time. That doesn't mean I'm always buying stuff, but it's just sort of like a hobby for me to jump on and say, hey, what's new on eBay that might be of interest? And then it might lead me down a rabbit hole too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of these cassettes that I've shown on past episodes. Was it a past episode or was it this one? Who can remember? But, it's sort of, it's sort of then you go, oh, what other cool cassettes are out there? Or even the sheet music, right? You're like, oh, that kind of, so it ebbs and flows for me.
Okay. Andrew?
I'm going to agree with Joe because I did sell my collection in 2009 when I first moved here because I lived in a small, it was a converted attic that was converted into a little apartment. So I just didn't have the space for it. So I was like, you know what? This is sitting in boxes. I want to give someone else enjoyment of it. And then as I, got my act together and, moved on to nicer and better things, I was able to, afford getting, stuff back. So, for me, I'm always going to collect vinyl, always going to collect tour books, and I'm always going to collect posters. Those are the things that I absolutely love. So, but yeah, it's the same thing as what Joe says. It's peaks and valleys. It's peaks and valleys.
Yep. Nicholas has an interesting story about, because you didn't start collecting until later in life, right?
Yeah, like my discovering Kiss was a little bit later. But no, I bought when the reunion tour came out. I bought the McFarlane dolls. I bought the Cornerstone cards. Figures. Vinyls. I bought the collector cards, the Cornerstone collector cards. Got a whole set of that, and then just sort of stored them somewhere. Maybe it was a heat vent. Who knows? They sort of fell out the bottom of a cupboard somewhere. Got mold in them. I just threw the whole lot out. I threw out the McFarlane figures, and then I sort of got back into collecting again. Because remember, I wasn't always a coin. Up until about only 3 or 4 years ago, I've still got 15 boxes of all that stuff we talked about before under my house waiting to sell. So
sounds to me.
Under your house.
Yeah, under the house. Yeah, in plastic tubs with Vinny's dogs. They're sealed nicely.
Oh boy!
All right.
Let me get the list of prospective guests and just cross off a couple of names.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We got some great guests on the episodes Nicholas wasn't on. No. Yes. I forgot what we were talking about. I'm just keep thinking of dogs in cartons.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
So let me throw in a question here while you're thinking about all this, Nicholas. If you and I were to switch collections, I know you just got the cold sweat over that, and you had all my vinyl, and I were to take all of your collectibles, would you sell the vinyl off to go back and get the collectibles, even the super rare stuff, or would you go, oh, I would.
Yeah,
You would.
because I mean, yeah, because I don't collect it. I don't understand why you'd need more than one album. I've got that.
And even
music.
then, he's like, I
And
can't
I've got
play
it,
this
I've got it on
on
my
Spotify.
phone. I've got Love Gun on my phone. So why do I need it?
So you wouldn't keep even the rarest vinyl that I have. You would sell it all out to get the collectibles back.
Yeah. I mean, I might keep the double platinum, the white one with the red logos, or it'd have to be something that it couldn't be a variant or something. It'd have to be something that, like, I'd collect those what are those sorry, I guess put me on Kiss My Wax. The Destroyer the Destroyer one that has Flaming Youth,
the Summer Tour LP.
The promos, those things. I keep those.
Okay, so you would keep the rarest stuff.
But I wouldn't care what Camel label or Bogart label was of a record I already had. Like that'd all go straight away to buy.
That's interesting to me because now, not necessarily down to like, the logo above or below the spindle. Not that minutia, but like that makeup kit that's sitting right there. I don't know if the viewers can see it, but right beside your head is it looks like the water soluble version of the makeup kit.
Yeah.
Now, do you have the other version?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, they're actually two totally different kits, because this one has the tubes of makeup. This one has like watercolors.
But they're variants. They're variants of each other.
Yeah.
Look, the artwork's even a little bit different.
Yeah, well, this one's called Kiss Your Face Makeup. This one's Kiss Your Face Makeup Kit.
Yeah, but this one has the logo above the spindle hole, and this one has it in a...
Exactly. So what I'm basically saying is I'm a huge hypocrite.
Right, that's where I was going. Well, I don't want to... You're not a hypocrite.
No, he's a hypocrite. It's all right.
Okay, you're a hypocrite. I just wonder why
Stop cutting your posters.
Why you...
No, I suppose it comes down to I don't value vinyl. So, that's... if I valued vinyl and looked at them as actual pieces of merchandise, then I probably wouldn't sell them, but I don't. So... yeah.
And can you answer why that is? Why you don't view them? Because in my mind, and I've had this written down in notes for a long time, something that I always wanted to discuss on the show because it's puzzling to me. To me, the first collectible of Kiss were the records, and that's what got me into collecting Kiss. And why does someone who is a merch only collector not view vinyl the same way? Why don't you view it as merchandise? I mean, I know it's one thing, but I just don't.
Yeah,
It's
a weird. I don't understand why. And it's probably could ask somebody who doesn't collect any merch, who doesn't like a lunchbox, who says it means nothing to me. I don't understand why. Because I was sort of more got into music in the 80s, and cassettes. Cassettes were all all the AC/DC ones were all cassette. I never really ever got into vinyl. Vinyl was around, but I never really
phased
had
out.
a record player. So it was kind of being phased out. I was a cassette guy, then straight into CDs. And the minute I had CDs, I threw all my cassettes out. So I didn't collect the piece of music. I was only ever interested in the music, not the delivery. I like the pizza, not the pizza box, so to speak.
Right.
That's a good analogy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as far as my answer to that question, as I've told many times on the show, I sold my collection to Peter Arquette in the late 90s. I had kind of lost, everything was just kind of boxed up, and I'd kind of lost, it started getting out of hand for me. And I was living with roommates and stuff in college at the time, and I just had no room for it, and I needed to pay some bills, and I, sold off most of my stuff. I kept all the personal items, anything I had signed, and I kept, a nice set of vinyl, and my bootlegs, but everything else I got rid of merchandise wise, and immediately regretted it. And but I didn't start recollecting again until probably 2009. So it's been about 10 years not actively collecting Kiss merchandise. And then in around 2008 or 9, actually that's around the time I started chatting with you a little bit, Nicholas. You may not remember, but
he's blocked it out.
When you first started doing everything Kiss, and it was seeing that site kind of jump started my itch again to start collecting.
And Sonic Boom coming out, right?
And
Haven't
Sonic,
you talked about that?
Right. And so it was all around that time. Everything Kiss and Sonic Boom. And I was like, all of that stuff was coming out. And I was like, well, this time I'm going to go buy all that stuff. And I went to Walmart and I bought every bit of that stuff.
Do you still have the Kiss M&Ms?
I do.
You're probably full mold.
Yeah.
Is there something you never got back that you sold to Peter Arquette that you wish you hadn't sold and you still haven't found and got back into your collection yet? Have you now got it all back?
My collection now is way larger than it was when I sold it to Peter Arquette.
And that's what she said.
Piece or something?
I don't know. I still have the list that I hand wrote out. It's like 27 pages, and faxed it to Peter Arquette and got his bid faxed back to me. And I would have to go through and look and see. But off the top of my head, I don't think that there is. Bless you.
It's not some super rare thing.
Right. I don't think there was something super. Creatures of the Night on 8-track. Sold him 3 copies of it, and I can't find it now to save my life. Can't find it. So, and that's really what. Once I, the Sonic Boom thing, and I bought all that stuff at Walmart, and I said, man, I'm going to start buying Kiss stuff again. I started with 8-tracks, and I started buying the 8-tracks back again, and then posters, and then I went to posters. So, all right, let's do one more, and we'll have plenty more for a second episode.
Sounds
so
good.
Let me find.
Make it a good one. Make it a juicy one.
I'm trying. Let's find.
Make it a good one. No pressure.
All right, here we go. We'll end on this. Rob Duran asks, or says, this is from the Kiss My Collectibles group. This is the first question I've gotten to from our actual group. Rob Duran says, there's a fire. You only have time to grab 3 pieces from your Kiss collection. Which items do you save from the Raging Inferno?
My signed solo album, like little frame display.
Okay.
Damn. My bin of T-shirts from all the shows that I went to.
No. 3 items.
Okay, so
not letting you pass that.
All right, damn. All right, so my New Year's Eve 96-97 T-shirt.
Okay.
And my Gene Simmons vault.
Eugene, hey, okay, all right.
Because I can put the things on top of it and wheel the vault out.
They see the firemen carrying this 200-pound box.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, because if
Eugene.
Yeah.
If
I was going to let you get away with that, Andrew, I could have said, well, I'll have my whole collection with me because it's all in bins still. So I'm just going to take 3 bins of Kiss stuff.
Bins of everything.
Yeah. Joe. Nicholas.
Well, that's a tough one because for me, it's one of those things where you go, okay, it's place and time, things that remind me of, that are really personal. I have the the first album signed by all 4 that I had as a kid, the record that I had as a little kid that's been signed by all 4. So that certainly would be one. Maybe either the Ace or Paul guitars. Those are both moments in time for me where I met them and talked to them and had them sign those guitars. And then I've got another Paul Stanley Silvertone. I know everybody gasps, but it's signed by the original 4, and I remember that story. So it's that type stuff that would have to have a story around it, and
sneaking into meet and greets.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'll tell that story someday. That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. All right, Nicholas, any clue?
Yeah, I think I'd probably the stuff which is the hardest to replace would be. I'd probably go for like
3 items.
1, that one, the original, that one, and definitely this.
Nicholas, is that in a case?
Shit. Okay, I've just dropped all my stickers on the floor. Where'd that one go? Somewhere on the floor near the heating vent, probably.
Yeah.
Hang a second. Fallen in. The Vitabrits box.
Yeah.
1980.
Is there any Vitabrits still in there?
That one.
That's strange.
No.
Did you ever eat Vitabrits? Did you ever eat Vitabrits? What do they taste like?
Hang on a sec. Let me have a look. Used by 13th of June 1981. Awesome. Yeah. And what else? What else would I take? I don't know. It'd be so. I think, but yeah, I can't decide right at this moment. But it would definitely be something that would be hard. Can I take all 4 of these? Like, do they count as one item?
Oh my gosh.
Is that one item?
I don't know, Andrew. Does that count as one item?
I think I'm
Yes.
just ruining everything on this show.
All right, we'll count that as one item.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
one
With
item
those
for
4,
Nicholas
those
would be
4.
one wing of his house.
Yeah.
It would just cut it off. And
He's up
Yeah.
there. It's a raging inferno. He has a big saw.
And
after
Jason-
that, the children.
And Jason's not allowed to answer this question because all this stuff is still in bins after moving over a year ago.
It's not over. It's a year this month. So.
Jason, can I guess?
Yes.
I think I have
Yes.
2 of your things. One of them is your destroyer, your original destroyer record from a little kid. Would you take that?
That was that. No, I didn't think about
No.
that. I didn't think
No,
about
who cares about my childhood?
that. Yeah. I don't know. Joe probably wouldn't.
Wow. The white label promo signed by all 4?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
White label promo, and I'd probably have I'm gonna have a hard time answering this too. I was looking around, debating. Shoot, man, I don't know.
And we'll see you on the next one.
We'll see you on the next one. I honestly have no clue. I feel like I have. Oh, I'd probably take my fully signed originals too, which I got from Danny Dabbs back in the early '90s, and so that it has special meaning to me from where it came from, who it came from. It's complete and it's signed by all the original members. Yeah, I've always been a vinyl guy, so I don't know. I can't come up with another one in enough time.
As funny as it is, I'm such a vinyl guy. I probably wouldn't grab any of the vinyl other than that signed one from the band. It's just, for me, it's time, place, stories, stuff that really bring back a memory of. I remember where I was when I got it signed or whatever it was. So
right, that's what I was trying to think. I was trying to think of all the times that I've met them and the things that I've had signed. I don't want to lug that Gene Simmons vault, but that was a pretty cool
story.
Cool story. That was a cool time.
I'm not gonna grab it. I'm just gonna roll it, and it rolls pretty good.
It rolls pretty good. So I don't know about a third one. I'd have to think farther, and I'm not gonna hold the show down. So anyway, thank you for submitting all the questions.
Awesome.
And
great participation by everybody on that, for sure.
Right.
Everybody gets a participation trophy. Yeah, you get a trophy.
right.
You get a trophy. You get a trophy.
That's right. That's right.
And we have enough questions to do at least another episode, if not 2. So, and we'll definitely get those and sprinkle those in the next couple of months or something like that.
Do it.
So, all right. So, thanks for joining us on this one, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Hello, everyone. Oh, shit.